It was a bright, wind-brushed morning when my life took a turn I could never have imagined. I wasn't looking for love, nor expecting gratitude. Just doing what felt right. The sun had barely climbed over the rooftops when I saw her, a woman standing beside her car on the shoulder of the road, its hood open, smoke curling into the golden light. Her face was half hidden by sunglasses, but there was an unmistakable sadness in her posture, shoulders drooping, hands trembling slightly, as if life had worn her down with countless disappointments. I didn't know then that stopping my old pickup that morning would change everything I thought I knew about love, sacrifice, and second chances. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and love that defies expectations, please take a moment to comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Because sometimes one act of kindness really can change two lives forever. Her name was Clara. She was 42, graceful but tired looking, with streaks of silver threading through her dark hair. I was 22, working odd jobs to save for college and still figuring out who I wanted to be. That day, I just wanted to help. Her battery was dead, she said. Looking closer, I noticed her shoes were dusty, her eyes swollen, as if she'd been crying recently. I gave her a ride to the nearest auto shop and waited as the mechanic replaced her battery. When she went to pay, her card was declined. The embarrassment on her face hit me like a punch. Without thinking, I paid the bill myself, she protested. But I just smiled and said, "You can pay it forward someday." Over the next few weeks, I started seeing Clara around town, sometimes at the grocery store, sometimes sitting at the park near Miller's Creek, feeding ducks alone. One afternoon, as I biked past, she called out with a soft laugh, "You again? Are you following me? Or is fate just teasing us both?" I stopped, laughed too, and we had our first real conversation. She told me she'd recently moved back after a messy divorce and was trying to start over alone, broke, and feeling invisible. Her ex-husband had left her for someone younger. I didn't know what to say, so I just listened. Sometimes listening is the greatest gift you can give a person who feels unseen. That became a habit. Every afternoon, I'd find her on that same park bench, sipping coffee from a paper cup, gazing out over the water. I started joining her, sometimes with takeout sandwiches, sometimes just sharing stories from my day. I found myself drawn to her calmness, her quiet humor, the way she talked about life like someone who'd lost everything, yet still refused to give up. She once told me, "You're young, Adrian. The world will try to break you, but don't let it make you cold." As weeks passed, something shifted. She began to smile more, laugh longer. I noticed how her eyes lit up when she talked about painting, an old passion she'd abandoned years ago. So, I surprised her one morning by bringing her a blank canvas and a set of brushes I bought secondhand. She looked at me for a long moment, tears welling up. "No one's ever done something like this for me before," she whispered. That was the moment I realized how lonely she truly was. She invited me over one day to see her paintings at her small apartment, a cozy, sunlit space filled with half-finished canvases and plants that needed watering. Her art was breathtaking, each stroke a confession, each color a memory. One painting caught my eye, a woman standing in a storm. Her umbrella broke it, yet she smiled. "That's you, isn't it?" I asked softly. She nodded. "That's how I've survived," she said. Days turned into months. I helped her fix her leaky sink, carry groceries, repaint her porch. In return, she made me tea, told me stories about her youth, and encouraged me to chase my dreams. My friends didn't understand. "She's twice your age." "Man," they'd say, "you're just being nice." But kindness has a way of growing roots deeper than reason. I wasn't falling for her looks. I was falling for her strength, her heart, her quiet resilience. Then one Sunday afternoon, everything changed. She invited me over to help move some boxes from her attic. The sun poured through the window, painting her hair gold. We sat on the floor afterward, laughing over old photo albums. She showed me a picture of herself at 22, the same age I was now, smiling beside her first car. "That girl," she said, "thought she had the whole world figured out. She didn't know it would all crumble one day." I looked at her then. "Really looked, maybe the world crumbled," I said. "So something better could grow." Her laughter faded, and she just stared at me for a long moment. Silence filled the room, broken only by the sound of a clock ticking. Then she asked the question that would echo in my head for days. "Adrian, would you ever marry a woman twice your age?" I froze, my heart pounding. It wasn't a flirtatious question. Her tone was quiet, vulnerable, as if she was afraid of my answer. I didn't know what to say. I just looked at her, then down at my hands, unsure if I was reading too much into it. She smiled faintly and said, "Forget I asked," I replied. I guess I just wondered if people like you still exist. People who see hearts before numbers. For days afterward, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Her question wasn't really about marriage. I realized it was about her worth, about whether she could still be seen as lovable after everything life had done to her. And the truth was, she was the kindest, most genuine soul I'd met. One rainy afternoon, I found her sitting at the park bench again, drenched, lost in thought. I ran to her with my jacket, covering her shoulder, and said, "You shouldn't be out here." She looked up, her eyes glistening with tears. "I lost my job," she whispered. "They said I wasn't fitting the young energy they wanted. I feel useless, Adrian. Like, I don't belong anywhere anymore." Something inside me broke hearing that. I took her hand and said, "Then make your own place. Paint again. Start small. Start anywhere. You belong more than you think." And she did. With my help, she began selling small paintings online. I helped her set up an account, took photos, and wrote descriptions. People began to notice. Her first sale was only $50, but the joy on her face made it worth millions. She started smiling again, laughing freely. I was proud of her, prouder than I'd ever been of anyone. One evening, she asked me to come by for dinner. Candlelight flickered across her small dining table. She wore a simple white dress, her hair loose, her eyes glowing softly. We talked about everything and nothing. As I was leaving, she stopped me at the door, her hand trembling slightly. "Adrian," she said, "I don't know what this is between us, but you've brought light back into my life. No one's ever made me feel seen like you do." I felt a lump in my throat. I didn't have fancy words, just the simple truth. "You made me believe in kindness again," I said quietly. "And if love is just kindness that refuses to fade, then maybe this is what love looks like." She didn't reply, just leaned forward and hugged me a long, warm, wordless embrace. I could feel her heartbeat against mine. It wasn't romantic in a cinematic way. It was human, deep, real. Over time, our bond grew unshakable. We didn't label it. We didn't need to. She taught me patience, empathy, and how to see beauty in imperfection. I helped her rediscover her worth. And though people whispered, though society might never quite understand, what we had was built on something rare: mutual healing. Years later, Clara opened her own art studio. The sign above the door read, "Second Chances Studio." On the day of the opening, she looked at me with the same shy smile she'd had that morning by the roadside. "You changed my life, Adrian," she said softly. I smiled back. "You changed mine first." As the sunlight streamed through the windows, reflecting off a painting, I realized something profound. Sometimes love isn't about age or expectation. It's about timing. Two broken souls crossing paths when they both need saving. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps spread stories of kindness, courage, and unexpected love across the world. Special request. Tell us in the comments, do you believe love can exist beyond age, beyond what society says is normal? Your answer might inspire someone who's afraid to believe again. And as the day faded into golden evening light, Clara stood beside me, her hand in mine, her smile soft but certain. I thought back to that morning when I stopped to help a stranger on the road and realized I hadn't just helped her fix her car. I'd helped her find her way back to life. And in the process, she helped me find mine.